You have a big job taking the helm of Coke at a really important time for the company. But you have said, look, our portfolio has to look, and these are your words, radically different in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a realization that what's got us to 130 years of success is not going to take us on the next 130 years. As the world develops, as economies grow, as the world urbanizes, people still want to enjoy beverages. Actually, each year they spend more on beverages, but they want choice.
You said to this company when you were promoted from COO to CEO, please have a bigger appetite of risk. Why? Why more risky?
Well, I think partly I'm pushing against what is a natural institutional trend. Any large company, government, any organization is going to tend to become risk adverse over time as it becomes longer lived and more successful. Bigger and older. Therefore, you've got to push against it as the CEO. You've got to keep driving for people to look outside and see what's happening to the consumer, what's happening to the customers. Take more risk, because in the end, if they don't, you tend to retreat. So my job is to keep pushing forward.
You've also said you want Coca-Cola to adopt the, in your words, mentality of a technology company.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I think when we were polishing and making better one brand, the Coca-Cola brand, we sought to try and have everything be perfect before we did something. But in this fast-moving world, trying to do many more things, we can't afford that luxury. We've got to experiment, which means learning from the tech industry, the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Don't make it perfect. Get something out there, learn, and make it better.
70% of Coca-Cola's business is still sodas. But if you look at the numbers across the board, soda sales across the board, you and all your competitors have fallen to a 31-year low. My generation, those younger than me, want to drink things other than soda. This is a huge change for the company. One headline I read recently that sparked my interest, Coca-Cola is trying really hard not to be a soda company. True?
We're trying to be more than a soda company. I think it's about the and. I mean, Coke, the brand, is still the largest beverage brand, actually one of the largest food and beverage brands of all.
Yeah.
And I think it will be for a very long time and be the heart and the soul of the company, but we can be much more. And so it's an and.
What is Coke's responsibility in helping to fight and solve the obesity crisis in America and also globally?
I think we have to play our part, absolutely. And we're focused on trying to do that in a few ways. Firstly, by reformulating some of our great tasting drinks that people love and just taking the sugar levels down, bringing the consumers with us so that they still enjoy the taste, but bringing the sugar levels down. And we've got a lot of experiments going on around the world. Coke Zero Sugar being one of them. We're investing in smaller packages. So if you want the classic original, hey, maybe a smaller size would be more appropriate for this occasion. So in the end, it's still less sugar, but the original great taste. And then as we invest in research and development and innovate and create new drinks, we can create fundamentally less sweet drinks. So it's those things that are helping us grow the business but make the sugar decline.
You actually, Coca-Cola as a company is on board officially with the World Health Organization guidelines saying limit the amount of sugar. Diabetes Care, which is a peer-reviewed journal, as you know, came out with a study a few years ago. It showed people that consume 1 to 2 sugary soft drinks a day have a 26% higher risk of getting type 2 diabetes. How do you measure success on these initiatives for you guys as a company to fight epidemics in this country?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost as simple as how can we grow the business and have the absolute amount of sugar go down and bring it down.
Food, as you know, your competitor, Pepsi, Frito-Lay, they have that part of the business. A lot of analysts say that's attractive to have that diversification. Your words when you were asked about this, don't rule anything out. So you can't give me that same answer. So what's your answer on a potential food acquisition?
The reality is it's much easier for us to do more beverages. We have
Yeah, but you don't seem like a CEO who wants the easy route.
No, I want the most successful route. And sometimes you've got to do the most obvious things first, even if people are saying over there could make sense. So we're focused on, what is going to drive the best and most growth for the Coca-Cola company. We've got fabulous brands, we've got great know-how in beverages, and we've got the world's best distribution system. In some ways, it's stick to your knitting until you run out of that play.
That's interesting. Warren Buffett, of course, Berkshire Hathaway, Coca-Cola's biggest single shareholder, 400 million shares. He's important to the company, to say the least. Tell me about your conversations with Warren Buffett.
You know what? When I sit with Warren, the most interesting thing is how curious he is. He is super curious. He asks lots and lots of questions, not just on our business, but how we see the environment around ourselves. He's certainly one of the most curious people I've ever met.
Do you remember the first question he asked you when you were CEO?
The first question he asked me, we were having dinner, he said, okay, what's happening with e-commerce in the US?
When you look at him, he has said that if you take care of a great brand, it lasts forever. So what do you see as your primary charge taking care of Coca-Cola in his, in his view?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about, you can't take things for granted. It's about complacency is the first step towards disaster. You know, if you, Woodruff, one of the great leaders of Coca-Cola, say, you know, the future belongs to the discontented. If you become contented, you become complacent, and then it'll all start going wrong. So you've got to go in every day saying, how can I keep polishing this brand? How can I make it a little bit better? Whether that's Coke or any of our other brands.